Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming Oh, God. It's going to go like this, is it? Your weekly gaming podcast, episode 140, the inevitable Halloween special 04, with me, George, and as always joined this week by Bobby Boy and RGT, Kruger and Myers to my Casper the Friendly Ghost. How's it going, guys?
Oh, good, man. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
I am nervous. It's that time of the year when we get youngsters come knocking on the door. I don't want to scare you two, but Farmerton produces quite possibly the scariest young candy seeker, as you would know them, Bobby. I don't want you to get freaked out. We'll retreat to the upper floor at the witching hour and we will just hurl bags of fun-sized Mars bars at them. I'll lob in the odd full-size one, so if any one of those little rats can pick that up while fielding a black eye or got a biscuit boost stuck out their ear or a Celebrations Mars bar for eyeballs, whatever it is, they don't leave here with their vision. So I feel like a full-size boost is a worthwhile payoff. Are you prepared, both of you, mentally and physically, for the witching hour?
I always am ready for this.
Never have enough sweets, so I'll try and prepare, but never have enough sweets.
Never?
Never. Always run out. However many I buy, there'll always be them extra kids come knocking on the door.
They're the ones that get apples and PS5 games.
Yeah, a bit of bread and butter.
Wait back. Stand back, guys. Stand back from RGT's shed. He's officially out of sweets. Okay, I'm going for Wonder Boy and Master System. Good lad.
We don't get trick-or-treaters anymore, really.
Why?
Just things have changed over here. So usually the kids go to like the restaurants, supermarkets, stuff like that. They don't come to door no more.
Whoa.
Yeah, hasn't been like that for a while now. So the can is just for us, really.
Wow.
Very small bag.
More the fool on them. While we're slipping around in this delicious environment, I must turn to RGT.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a throwback for you. Here's an Easter egg for the long-term listener. Otters, grip the wheel of your fun-shaped dodgem, pal. It's time for me to say, what you been playing?
Well, been away this week, so been on the Switch. Family game, so Switch Sports, bowling, your usual reoccurrence of the Wii game. Which has been good fun, but there's not a lot to play on that. It's quite disappointing, really, what they launched that with. But anyway, that was quite good. Played a few of them little mystery games with the family. But we were back yesterday, and I started playing. I had a couple little goes of FIFA. I ain't quite kicked the addiction yet, but Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. I started playing that yesterday, and only played 2 hours of it, but that's got me gripped, that game.
Yes.
Art style on that is phenomenal. That is a gorgeous game. It's that sort of anime, cell shaded, almost hand drawn. But yeah, very good. Action RPG, not turn based. Combat's very good.
We're easing you in slowly. It has got the first one. I haven't played the second one. The first one did have elements of the turn-based activity still within its DNA. That you can send out your little, we'll call them Pokemons. I don't know what they're actually called anymore. What are they called?
Yeah. Go with Pokemon.
2 hours in, I'm still calling them Pokemon. Got me gripped by the absolute goonies. We'll call them Pokemon. Whatever they are, the little weirdlings that you collect.
Yeah, I ain't got them yet.
Oh. Spoilers.
So, spoiler alert. But anyway, carry on.
For a 20-year-old franchise. No, I don't know where I'm going with that anymore, to be honest. But there's what I was saying was there's elements of turn-based in there. So if you get to grips with that, next is Final Fantasy 13, then you're all in at that point.
I'll try. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's very, very good. Good story. I can't really find fault with it at the moment. So I'm definitely, after the show's finished today, I'm gonna crack on with that.
Anything else been teasing you?
No, that's pretty much been. Oh, sorry, yes, there has. I was about to say no. Sega Saturn. I was playing yesterday, and I was playing Grid Runner. I don't know if you've ever played that.
What did you do? Did you fall down and bump your head in the shed and then wake up in this sort of 1996 fever dream where the Saturn was the only console that you owned and Grid Runner was the only choice of game? What made you pick Grid Runner?
It's quite a boring way I picked it. I was literally dusting the shelf and saw Grid Runner and thought, I'm going to play that. That was literally it. So I popped it in, and 2 hours later, I was still playing Grid Runner. That's interesting sort of game. It's not a cross between. It doesn't sound great, but it is. It's not a cross between tag and capture the flag. So you'll have one enemy boss on the grid, and whoever gets the flag first then has to collect a certain amount of flags. But if they touch you, then they collect their flags. So you and then you have like 3 sort of upgrades you can do. So you can layer, if there's a flag with a floor in, you can lay a false floor and run across. You can leave bombs behind you so they blow up and they're chasing you. And once you do like 2 levels and a bonus level on each planet, and then you go off to another planet and do another grid. And it's quite addictive, actually. Quite a good little game.
Okay.
And unlike the Saturn, quite inexpensive. So it's not a major expensive game for the system. So yeah, but yeah, good fun. Grid Runner, worth little hidden gem, worth a lot.
I think every week we need from you a retro hidden gem.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's part of what you've been playing. Play along.
Good idea.
Something that's affordable.
Yeah.
But nice pick up and play little gem.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Just looking through my homework, you had Dead Space. I don't know what that is. Dead Place. It's like a fish cleaning game. Dead Space. Did you play it?
No, because I was away a week, so I haven't had a chance yet. But as it's Halloween this week,
I don't know what your idea of a romantic weekend away is. But mine is taking the PS3 and forcing my significant other to watch me play through a 15-year-old game.
That's very romantic.
Yes.
Turn the lights off, make the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Tell Don, listen, just sit back here and enjoy.
That's why I sit atop the long-term relationship pile. Oh, actually, I don't. Okay. Maybe it was Dead Space. Maybe it was my breath. I'm not even sure anymore. But okay. With that embarrassing confession out of the way, let me turn to the mighty Handsome Rob 07, a.k.a. Chronicles of a Gamer. We know him affectionately as Baba Boy. Baba Boy, what games have you been playing?
So I played a lot of FIFA.
Oh, no,
a lot of FIFA.
You as well. Oh,
yeah.
That's got you, Bobby.
I'm getting better and better. I'm now on what's the difficulty after professional?
World class.
That's where I'm at.
Good. Very good.
Yeah. So lots of 2-1, 1-0, 3-1. Either I win or they win, but I'm getting used to it now. I've been doing that. I downloaded NHL 23. My brother said he would download it with me, and he has not. So that's still waiting. And I played Dead by Daylight, and I never really played as the killer. I don't know why. And I had Halloween DLC, and I was just terrifying people chasing as Michael Myers.
Wow.
It was me, my boy Marlon, my brother, and Marlon's 2 kids playing together. So it's pretty fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, whoever's the killer, we just disconnect the mic from the chat, so I can't hear them. Cool. They can't hear me, or else it's cheating.
Is that similar to the Friday 13th game they've done, where you sort of come in one's a killer similar. And the other?
Yeah, very similar. Yeah,
I played quite a bit of that. That was good fun.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was really good. But when you're the killer in Dead by Daylight, it's first person, so that kind of threw me off. I didn't expect to be first person.
Oh, but then you're third person if you're
the survivor.
Oh, okay.
And I liked how if you got close to somebody, the Michael Myers stalk music would come on. Nice. So like you get into it, man. You feel good, you know? So I thought that was pretty good. And I downloaded and played Gotham Knights.
Oh.
My brother Scott yesterday. So I did the whole tutorial, which was, I don't know, like an hour, I guess. I mean, I watched all the cinematics too. So once you finish the tutorial, you can pick any character you want. And my brother can pick any character he wants, and he just jumps right into my game through the invite. And if you're playing as Batgirl and you're upgrading her, your other characters get upgraded as well. But they're like 2 levels behind. So it's not like you have to play every character.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And if you don't think of it as the Arkham games, because it's not, I did enjoy some of the combat, especially when you're in co-op mode and you see your partners fly up over your back and kick somebody in the face. It's amazing. So I was having a good time with that. I'm going to continue that for sure today.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
So, the UCP's take on Gotham Knights is it's okay.
For now, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The graphics look pretty good. The detail, just very Arkham-ish with the detail all around. They even had a nod to the Grey Ghost in one of the puzzles you have to solve. There's like a detective thing you got to solve. Combat is not square. You know, it's not. It's more like RPG-ish. You could level up. You can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor, upgrade your ranged weapons. And then you'll see like enemy levels over the head. So if they're too higher than you, they'll be red. So you can still fight them. It's just going to be more of a challenge. I think they scale with you. I'm not sure if they scale with you or how it works, but map's pretty big. Riding the motorcycle is pretty cool. You could both ride a motorcycle together, like side by side. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So far, so good. I have nothing bad to say about it yet, but we'll find out maybe next week.
Some would say this is a weakness of the UCP. I think based on what Bobby's just said, it's a strength. We don't shill to these son of guns, you know, for preview copies or any of that. That don't make us bigger boys. What makes Bobby's word worth $1 million is he thrust hard into his pocket, fumbled around, brought out some pennies, much to everyone's surprise, and threw them down on Gotham Knights. He put his money where his mouth is and said, this is an okay game. Therefore, he gets the UCP Circle of Justice. Gotham Knights is okay. It's on the box.
You know what else I liked? One more thing before, sorry. When there's good, if you have the whatever edition I bought came with costume packs. You know how sometimes in Arkham Knight you put a costume on, but it really didn't match the world?
Yes, all the time.
I feel like this game, the different costumes, some of them are ugly and some of them are really cool, but they seem to fit in. So if you're wearing another costume than the default, it doesn't seem like you're not in the world, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, some of the costumes I saw looked a little garish, but they didn't look out of the game. So
yeah.
I've been impressed by that. Okay, is that all you've been playing? Is that it? Line drawn?
Done.
There's more.
No, it's it.
Oh, you're done. Okay. Well, let me bore you to witless. It's 2008. Wait, it's not really. So I've been playing some Detroit Become Human.
Still enjoy it?
Still really enjoying it. Yeah. Absolutely. It's
cracking game.
Just an enjoyable little game. Again, it was a PSN game some while back. I've got it physical, but I just pulled it down onto the PS5, so you don't need to get up to move a disc. Some would say that's the future, but I've got the clamshells whispering in my ear saying, no, you like to stack us up on the shelf, Georgie. But I know. Okay, all right, I won't leave you. So, yeah, that just, again, the flips and flops that the story's taking, keeping me surprised every time I think, this will play out like this, or, I'll do this, or it doesn't. And, I'm finding that thoroughly enjoyable. I've also been playing some more Gran Turismo 6. Can't fault that game. While playing it did make me realise how sort of privileged we are to have 7 now, because it kind of has lifted that up a little bit. 6 has lost some of its back-end support with the PSN stuff, so it feels a little dead in the menus. And compared to, when I played 7, I thought, these menus are a bit PowerPointy and a bit dead and a little bit clip art. But it's that, and I said it at the time, it's that sort of just niceness that just keeps it together. It's not flashy. It's not got someone pulling up in a video and getting out and a CGI.
And also, when there's quite a gap between games, sometimes you have to go back to play the previous one just to remember how good the one is you've got at the moment.
And I was a fan of Sport, don't get me wrong. I thought the support it got as it went on made it a really great game. And although everyone said, oh, well, yeah, but it's not Gran Turismo 7, is it? Actually, by the time they were done, it pretty much was. So 7 is another iteration on that. It's strange. Some would say it was probably one of those prologues, but it was bigger than a prologue, and the support it got made it, quite a substantial game that's probably still getting played to this day. So the other game I played, Fallout 3, said I would, and I did. And do you know what? Takes the eye a little bit of time to get used to, but that stylization of the graphics that they've chosen and the aesthetics and everything, that game is still fun to play to this day. Yes, it's been left a little bit behind with some of the modern takes on things, and obviously even this was surpassed by Fallout 4. Some would say an upgrade, some would say a downgrade. I'm not here to argue about Fallout 4. I'm here to say Fallout 3 is still a standout piece of work. And I've not been plagued on PlayStation 3 by any frame issues. I've minimized my saves. I've not messed around with the world too much. It's very tempting to collect every cup you see, I have to admit. But when their only value is 0.6, so I have to trade 2 cups for 1 cap, one has to wonder, why am I bothering? So, left it sat for a while. It does a background install in the background, so didn't want to tax it too hard, wanted everything down on the hard drive. Frame rate's been good. Gameplay's been good. Very little texture pop, which I was surprised about. This is a non-SSD'd PS3. It's just a normal hard drive, and it seems to be pulling stuff up. I had a moment the other day where I walked into an area I'd not been before, and a building popped up about 2 miles away, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to forgive you.
Yeah.
Building that's of undisclosed genre in the distance, I shall forgive you.
Yeah. If it's 2 feet in front of you, then worry.
That's unforgivable. Yeah. That's Wipeout on the PlayStation 1 sort of stuff.
Yeah. I'm
talking, I'm going to forgive you. You're literally in a different postcode, zip code. Call it what you like. You're fine.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think I've played any other games. So we ought to do the only polite thing, which is to head into, unless you guys have got anything else to say.
No, it's good to do. Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's pull the sheet off. It's the news to scour the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, get your fingers into this. Move aside Mario and Sonic, because guess what? Glover is back. Yes! During the latest Q-Byte Connect 2022 broadcast, it was revealed the Nintendo 64 3D platformer would be making its way to the Switch soon. Got a release on the PS1 as well, but in my opinion, N64 Glover was the premium top-tier level of Glover. This title was originally released on the N64 in 1999, and earlier this year got a limited-run re-release on the same platform and PC. It's now finally been locked in for a standalone release on the Nintendo Switch. In this 3D puzzle adventure, players must guide Glover through 6 worlds and 30 different levels. Because we know you love the rapturous storytelling from late 90s video games, here's the story. The peaceful world of the kingdom has been destroyed. The mage, by transforming his magic stones, explosives him with a blast of... Their mistake, not mine. Explosives him with a blast of energy, transforming his magic gloves explosively with a blast of energy, transforming his crystals and dislodging the 7 crystals that force his kingdom. Without the crystals, the castle and your world will disintegrate and the mage will be lost. It's up to Glover, one of the magical gloves, to find the crystals, now disguised as rubber balls, return them safely to the castle, guide Glover and the balls to the 7 magical worlds of puzzles, hidden surprises. Now, in the Ponsonbury family, Glover holds an undeserved high amount of praise, mainly because it was an inside family joke. Other cousin came round to a family party. There was a girl he liked the look of, got told it was bedtime, went downstairs to be taken away, and then told his parents a story about a game he didn't even bring, which was Glover. He said, "Oh, I've left Glover upstairs in George's bedroom. I shall get it now." They said, "Okay." He comes up, sees his femme fatale, used Glover as a shield to then try and surreptitiously woo this woman. Nevertheless, it didn't work out, and Mumsy and Dads were probably surprised it had lent me on long-term loan Glover when he got back in the car, empty-handed, both of a woman and an aged N64 cartridge. I've included the Ponsonby family history. I don't know why. Glover, your experience with it.
As cover for a lover. There you go.
Oh my God. I want a t-shirt, top left nipple, right?
Yep.
Glover on the ball with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the bottom, it said whatever genius stuff you just said. Cover, Glover. Cover.
For a lover.
For a lover.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Underneath.
That's the tagline there. Tagline.
The album art, just in the small square. Boom. Done. Okay. Get out. Get in. Get out. I like what you're doing. Okay. So there's the next bit of merch. Jump up, get it sold. Whoever it is does that now. Okay. So experience of Glover.
I've never played it, Glover. I know of it. I've never played it.
Do you have it in any of your Cavernous collection?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I've got it. Say that, you'll get a picture of it in about an hour, won't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. George, I have got it. Sorry, I have got it. But
you know,
no, I've never played
when in Toy Story 2, when Woody gets picked up by the collector.
Mm-hmm.
That's how your games feel as it gets.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like, oh yes, we're going. Oh, it's him.
Yeah.
Oh God. Prepare to get shined up on like a new penny and then not be able to move for 400 years. Bobby, I turn to you, the king of collect-em-ups. Tell me, you've cut your teeth. Teeth? What teeth? What, Keith? Have you cut your teeth on Glover?
No, I never heard of it.
I'm glad I put this in the news. Moving on. Who's reading the next? Who's reading the next piece of news?
I'll read it because I'm shocked.
Okay.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked here. Watch my super new moves. Watch my super moves. Netflix wildly successful adaptation of The Witcher will return for a 4th season, but without Henry Cavill as iconic protagonist Geralt of Rivia. The role will be instead assumed by Australian actor Liam Hemsworth, who's probably best known for his performances in The Hunger Games, where he starred as Gale Hawthorne alongside Jennifer Lawrence's Katniss Everdeen. Cavill says, "My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I'll be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4. In my steed, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle as the White Wolf. As the greatest literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence from the time spent embodying Geralt and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on the most fascinating and nuanced of men. Liam, good sir, this character has such a wonderful depth to him. Enjoy diving in and seeing what you can find." Helmsworth added, "As a Witcher fan, I'm over the moon about the opportunity to play Geralt of Rivia. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure. Henry, I've been a fan of yours for years and was inspired by what you brought to the beloved character. I may have some big boots to fill, but I'm truly excited to be stepping into the Witcher world. It's worth noting that season 3 will not air until 2023, so there's still plenty of Cavill's take on the character to enjoy for now. In other news, a spin-off episode named The Witcher Blood Origin will air on the December 25th, which will serve as kind of a prequel to the main plot, depicting the story of the ever-first Witcher." I'm shocked by this.
Yeah, well, it's gamer news. It's not gamer news. It's geek news. It's in the news. That's how it works now.
It's pretty big.
Okay, so tell me, you're a fan of the Witcher games?
Yes.
Bobby?
They're remaking The Witcher 2, actually.
And they are remaking Witcher 1. Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. One would say now is the time.
Yes.
Henry Cavill, big guy. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. And that's amazing. Liam Hemsworth, famous for being someone's brother, played a guy in Hunger Games, is known in Hollywood as
Chris's brother.
Chris's brother, and relatively big. If you had an idea for a film and Chris won't pony up, and Henry Cavill's busy, don't panic, okay? Because that's what Liam Hemsworth's for.
Yeah.
Stick a blonde wig on him, no one will ever know.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest.
That's a strange one. I'm surprised.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why he left.
Yeah, is there any reason? Has there been any
Well, don't
reasons
forget,
why it's gone?
it's simultaneously at the same time as this announcement, he's announcing that he's moving back to play Superman with DC, and therefore one would imagine maybe he just doesn't have the time to commit to another one of these.
Mm.
Well, that's very true.
So it has to. My humble opinion, for what it's worth, okay, I never really watched the Witcher series, but he's a blooming great Superman, and there's a film franchise that probably hasn't had stability of
The whole
one
DC
man
universe
playing
is a
the
wreck.
role. You hope what?
The whole DC universe is a wreck.
It's up and down, isn't it?
It sure is.
I like Batman versus Superman, all of that Snyder stuff going on. I actually think it's enjoyable. Especially, I've rewatched them again in more recent times and thought, actually, they mesh together really well. The standouts that don't seem to fit anymore are Wonder Woman, especially the sequel.
Horrible.
And whatever else is coming next from that locker. Is Flash going to be any good, or is it going to be a bit of a mess? I also don't think Aquaman sits very well within. It was all going so well, and then they freaked out and went, "Oh, it's a little bit too DC. Let's get a little bit more Marvel." And obviously, Justice League was rejigged, and then everything from there started to disappear down a rabbit hole of cliched catchphrases, T-shirt slogans, and merchandise. And much like this show, probably its merchandise probably proved as popular as syphilis. So maybe it was a bad move. I don't know. Okay, but I feel their pain. Yeah. RGT, what's your take on this whole car crash of a Witcher news?
That's something I've got on my list to watch, The Witcher, because I did look at the trailers. I've seen it looks really good, and I think Henry's a decent actor. He's good in Superman, really good, and I thought he fitted that role really well. And like you say, maybe it is because of new movies coming out that he ain't got the time to commit to it. But it is a shame because he looks like he's very good at The Witcher. A lot of people said that's a good role for him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Would you say he was supercalifragilistic as The Witcher, or would you say he was a bit more like feed the birds tuppence a bag?
I don't know any of that means, my friend. But I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed him.
Okay. So your guess is going to be supercalifragilistic.
Mm-hmm.
Hemsworth, is he going to be?
I mean, he's playing a very bland, straight to the point character. That's very sarcastic. So it could work. I don't know his acting skills as of yet.
What if he just comes in and just does an impression of his brother playing Thor? Would that be suitable, or is that going to be a shocking
car crash?
Yeah. No, he has to play this guy with, like he's supposed to be played.
Hang on. Imagine you're a TV company, though. If they got him in and made him play it like Thor, imagine the slogans on the T-shirts, imagine the merchandise. It's going to be everywhere. Why don't we give him a little Witcher baby, like Baby Witch? This could go on a lunchbox. This could go big yards.
And he's very young looking as well. It's a young looking man.
That was my only take on it was this. After what we've seen and everything that we've know about The Witcher to this day, in my Witcher knowledge, I look at it, and to be honest, if it was a body of water, you couldn't even drown an ant in it. But I know enough to know that this ain't right.
Yeah. You know what it's like? You got a big bulking man you can snuggle into and just hold one arm. Just hold one arm, and now you can snuggle into his whole body. You just hold his whole body. That's how I feel.
Mm.
You want an arm or a body? I want an arm.
Big shoes to fill.
You know?
Do you remember those 80s sort of wrestling toys where it was like they were quite large and you could do moves on them?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I want 3 made of me, RGT, and Bobby, right? Pillow pals, they're called, right?
Pillow pals.
Yeah, and we can each have a little squeezers, and we'll say something. I don't know what mine is. Probably hello and welcome to the unlikable control. Oh, hang on, is this how it's going to go? Controller podcast. I don't know what RGT's is. I don't know what Bobby's is. Probably coffee, something around those.
Yeah, probably coffee.
Yeah. I don't know what yours is. Probably cider. You know, we're not stereotypical racists here on the show. So let's draw a line under The Witcher and then look at the next bit of news. RGT, what you got for us here, pal?
This yen ain't big enough.
That's what she said.
This industry really has changed, hasn't it? It's no secret that the big Japanese publishers, aka Capcom, Sega, Square Enix, etc., are largely looking to the West these days as their home nation seems to distance itself more and more from traditional console gaming, while outside of Nintendo at least. Whether it's enforcing global release dates or going all in on Western marketing, the change in approach has been dramatic over the last half a decade or so. And it's Square Enix that paints a clear picture of the new direction. In the company's annual overview of 2022, President Yusuke Matsuda goes out of his way to stress the importance of appealing to a global market. Achieving major growth in the game industry is difficult now for companies that compete primarily in the Japanese market, given its greying demographics, he writes. As such, it is critical for our businesses that we approach hit titles that speak to the global market. I lost my place here. I'm sorry, global market, and which offers greater scale in the terms of both customers and sales volumes. Masuda goes on to state that reliance on Japanese market simply isn't feasible given the size and scope of modern big-budget game development. The Japanese market is no longer sufficient for achieving a level of earnings that enables us to recoup our development investment and generate a profit. And therefore, we need to approach our development efforts based on assumption that we have to succeed in the global market. We don't think we will ever get used to seeing Japanese publishers chasing Western markets after so many generations of prioritizing their homeland. We grew up waiting weeks, months, sometimes even years for select Japanese games to make it overseas. But it would appear that we're well past that point now, especially when it comes to the larger publishers.
So, quite rightly, at the end of that statement there, RGT, you nailed it. Sometimes we would hear these games, fabled games. You know, there was always old Clarence Boddicker down the street who had a honeybee adapter and like 6 games hanging out the arse of his PAL Famicom, and he was writing strange hieroglyphs down on a piece of paper and telling people he could speak Japanese, thoroughly bamboozled himself for the latest Final Fantasy while looking ice cold, navigating his way through a complete mess. And still finding enjoyment in it. Those days are gone. We get them day and date pretty much.
Yeah.
Seem to be more popular here. One question, what's happened to the Japanese gaming market? Unless you can play the thing on a bus, it's a bust.
Yeah.
So no to PS5, no to Series X. Some success for the Series S, but obviously Xbox probably a little bit behind in Japan still. Switch doing gangbuster numbers, phone games doing gangbuster numbers, traditional gaming, it's gone bye-byes in Japan. They ain't got the time or the space. How, what, who, when, why? What happened?
I don't know. I think it seems to be more that the Japanese have taken the Western games more in than the West have taken Japanese games in. You know, and they had such a limited market. Now people have moved over to Switch and mobile and bits and pieces. That demographic's even smaller. So I suppose they're right. They have to hit the West now and, you know, get everything global, get everything released globally. You know, because you think how much games are to make these days. You need to maximise that profit on day one. You need to be hitting big numbers now with the budgets that they're using on titles.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've talked about it before on the show, obviously. Now games are rendered at 4K, however many frames a second as they can squeeze out of it. And with players keener than ever to look under the bin down that alley you were never meant to go down, someone's had to spend man hours putting that together. It's not just a quick pixel tile you drop down and there you go. This is, you know, you can go down a corridor and you can route through a bin. In a corridor you should never really have meant to go down from a narrative experience, but it needs to be there to draw you in. That's definitely wasted a week. Is this larger scale of gaming making regional game development dead? And are we moving to a world where games are just global? Bobby, I look to you. What's the answer for these guys?
To be honest, I just think it's maybe the generation of the younger kids changing the way how they play their games.
Yeah.
And the old generation, we had the way we play ours. They had the way they play theirs. And eventually, like everything else, we'll get phased out. They'll get phased in. It's a cycle.
And I think originally, like say when we were younger years ago, your JRPGs and your Japanese games were quite a little niche market over here. And I think the Western games were quite a niche market over there. But now it's all in one. Everyone's got the internet. They've all got access to all the games. And I think it's just one global big base now.
It's very true.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you for that, boys. The eloquence of execution. Next bit of news. Time for a pit stop. Developer Frontier has announced that the support for F1 Manager 2022 will cease less than 2 months after launch. With the next patch coming to the game to be the last of any consequence, this decision has been made apparently to ensure upcoming F1 Manager projects realise their potential. Considering that F1 Manager 2022 only launched at the end of August, that's a little rich, especially considering fans have complained of bugs and shallow features ever since Frontier has inked a deal with F1 for a total of 4 games, with 2022 being the first. The last significant patch, still coming to the game, will reportedly provide visual updates for official F1 teams, address fuel usage issues, and amend instances of estimated race time calculation inconsistencies. I couldn't even say episode 140, yet managed to slap off instances of estimated race time calculation inconsistencies as if it was mere water off a duck's back. So hardly a banger of a send-off. So let me first of all state by saying that I always aspired to have an F1 Manager game. I think there was one on like Amiga and PC back in the day around the time of Jeff Cranman's success with the initial Grand Prix 1 or 2. My memory fades as I get older. And I've had various games. One of them has its DNA in F1 Manager 2022, or its DNA is in F1 Manager 2022. Sega released a game called F1 Manager Mobile many years ago. I think it's been delisted now, but if you downloaded it back in the day, it's still yours. And that ended up becoming, as far as I'm aware, the literal building blocks of F1 Manager.
Oh, okay.
I love that game. A little shallow, yeah, maybe, but it was a mobile game and probably close to the PC counterpart. This coming out, I thought, oh, wow. You know what? There's so many things to look at. Driver market, development of the car, finances behind the scenes, buying engineers, coaches, aerodynamicists, all that sort of stuff. I thought this would do great guns. And it looks fantastic. It's a little steep for me, which is why I haven't gone all in. Yet its appearance in the sales week after week, I'm just waiting for it to just nudge below £20, and I've got a voucher burning a hole in my back pocket, and it'll get more. To me, it's a great sports game, kind of like I like the way the baseball. I don't have to get too sweaty. I don't have to muck about. I make a few selections and watch things play out. That's more me. So that is exciting. So with all my waffling put to one side, one thing I would say is I expected F1 Manager to be supported up until the day it died. Liken it to Frontier's other games, Jurassic World Evolution, and I'm going to call it Roller Theme Park or whatever it's called, Roller Coaster Tycoon 4000.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Still getting support with patches and new rides and all that sort of stuff. F1 Manager could have been supported all the way up to the end of the season, give you a load of scenarios to play with. You know, your Haas, you need to score at least 10 points before the end of the season to, you know, get X amount of championship points to enable you to do more in 2023. That seemingly not presenting itself and won't be presenting itself. Is this another case of a game that met what they thought was a lukewarm, so they're kind of killing it now, or is it a game that was never meant to be supported? Thoughts, RGT?
That must be one of the first games, especially in the modern era, that was 2 months old and isn't getting supported anymore. I mean, normally 2 years you'd say, oh, God, they're not supporting that anymore. I mean, 2 months seems very, very... I mean, even the FIFA games, I mean, they're still supporting 21 and 22 with updates. People are still playing those online. Yeah, I find that very strange after 2 months. Whether they're just going all in on the 2023 season or what, I don't know. It's a strange one. I mean, if you'd bought that, paid full price, and you're then thinking, well, hang on, we're not getting anything else added to this, and you get the end of season, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's worth the money for the content, to be honest.
No. It's a shame, but Bobby, let me translate this into American for you. NASCAR Manager 2022 Are you mildly into this, or are you just confused again, like RGT and I, at the lack of support after 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have interest in it, but after 2 months of a game, that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that would have been, I'd have probably in the next few weeks bought that game. Now I won't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the lack of support. What's the point in buying it now when what you get is what you get? And
if it's broken, that's it. It's not going to be fixed.
Yeah,
it's not going to be
exactly.
touched.
So they might end up losing quite a lot of sales through that.
And then when the next one does come out, it's going to be people are going to wait to see before buying it outright.
Exactly. Yeah.
Painting themselves into a corner, haven't they, really? Who's going to buy 2023 at full price? Because they're always going to be in that trepidation. Again, from what I understand, and I will buy this game at some point in time, call it Ancestors Human Origins if you like. I don't care. Okay. F1 Manager 2022 will get bought, possibly at some time in 2025 when it's $6.99 or less. Graphically, what I've seen of how the races are shown and televised in the game and how you interact with the drivers and all that sort of stuff in and out the car, it looks top tier. So I'm kind of just a bit blown away. It's kind of a game we all thought we wanted, but now a game that's probably dying in its own ether. So did we ever want it? Was there just me and another couple of guys that said it'd be great to have that? But in reality, seemingly not. Let's draw a line underneath its last significant patch, and let's dive out with this last piece of news.
There's always a price to pay.
Oh, I like what you've done there.
Activision's latest Call of Duty title is now out in the wild, which means players are getting their hands on all the content the game has to offer, as has been the case for a number of years now. PlayStation has its own set of exclusive content in this year's Modern Warfare 2, and it's quite an extensive list. Charlie Intel has pulled this image from Call of Duty website, which shows every chunk of Modern Warfare 2's content that's only available on PlayStation. Here's the list. You get plus 5 tiers in Battle Pass bundle, plus 25% XP when playing in a party, combat packs each season, 2 extra loadouts, and PS exclusive monthly double XP events. Sure, some of the stuff is a bit superficial, XP weapons and weapon XP, but we're pretty bummed that out on a certain bits of content aren't coming to Xbox. We could really do with those extra custom loadouts, even the sheer number of weapon and gadgets available in this game. Of course, the other ironic side effect about this whole thing relates to the current Xbox, PlayStation, Activision, Blizzard saga. Sony has repeatedly claimed that Xbox Call of Duty is insufficient, as the company takes stock of the fact that Call of Duty content could sway back in Xbox's favor.
So nice little bit of news, obviously, with the ongoing buyout of Activision Blizzard, Xbox looking at maybe pulling PlayStations. They're not looking at, seemingly they're not pulling it, trying to take Call of Duty away from PlayStation, but they're trying to harvest these mega deals. I mean, I don't play COD. I know a lot of people who listen to the show do. Be nice to see on the Discord whether 5 tiers and a Battle Pass bundle make a difference, whether a 25% weapon XP makes a difference. These combat packs. I mean, we're gone from exclusive levels to this rather inconsequential. If you're playing on Xbox and you didn't know about any of this stuff, you'd still be playing the game. Is it holding back your enjoyment of the game? Probably not. If I was on the fence about which console to buy, would this sway me in any way? Not being a COD player? No. If I was a COD player, maybe. I think, to be honest, it probably really is about what ecosystem you grew up in. And unfortunately, PlayStation as an ecosystem has been around longer. It's had more people buying the consoles. Xbox making a good stab at inroads into this. But are they all barking up the wrong tree? Or am I so much of a gaming dinosaur that I don't realise quite the significance that Modern Warfare has? One thing I do know is if PlayStation lost some of the upgrade packs from the percentage that they take, that would hurt them. That would hurt them big time in the wallet. But as a gamer whose wallet is not linked to any of these brands, does it matter? I don't know if it matters to me. And therefore, I need some help understanding why this might matter. So sound off in the Discord if you can explain to me why everyone's getting the game. 25% extra. It just seems like PlayStation's paid through the nose for, no disrespect, a pile of garbage, really.
Eddie.
It is.
I think it's just trying to keep players on PlayStation who play COD. I think COD's, I don't play it at all. I'm a complete noob to COD and multiplayer, but that seems to be what they're arguing about. I don't think it affects the gamers so much. The gamers will play the game on whatever system they're on. Sony and Microsoft are the ones who, they know where the big bucks are. They're the ones who are debating who gets what and who does what. But as a gamer, you're just going to play the game, surely. If you're on an Xbox, you play it. If you're on a PlayStation, you play it. PC, you play it.
I mean, one thing I would say before we swing round to Bobby, how does Call of Duty command such a place in the marketplace still? You know, you've got loads of other shooters out there. You've got games like Fortnite, which have just infected the youth's brains. They're not really playing COD. They're playing Fortnite. And the transaction percentage from Fortnite must just smash this.
Fortnite is massive, man.
Yeah.
And it's ever popular.
Yeah, and it's always going to, in some way, shape, or form, I feel like it's always going to be around. And people have put hundreds and thousands into these skins on Fortnite, which means they've got invested value in that franchise. Now, I know some people have got invested value in Call of Duty, but correct me if I'm wrong, other than Warzone, your invested value doesn't carry over. Whereas a game like Fortnite, your invested value from season 1 makes a difference to today.
Well, I just wonder if the demographic of COD is an older generation, which tends to spend more, has more disposable income, whereas the Fortnite demographic seems to be a younger crowd. Maybe they don't spend as much. Do you think that would, just Call of Duty generate more money because of the people who are playing it?
I would say maybe there was a time where it does, but I think maybe both brands, Xbox and PlayStation.
Fortnite's free.
And Fortnite's free. Warzone's free, but I feel they're chasing the thinner edge of a demographic, whereas Fortnite is the bigger edge. Those that started playing Fortnite, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe they were 15, they're 20-something years old now.
That's true, yeah.
Now, maybe they migrate to COD because it's the bigger boy shooting game, or maybe they've just stuck with their Fortnite because it's fun, it's neon colours, it's pop, it's do a couple of games with your mates, then go play whatever else is that generation plays. Minecraft, I don't know, Sea of Thieves, who cares, right? But Bobby, what's your take on this?
I mean, I don't think it really matters. It's just a couple XP. All right, so I might get some more experience than you. But if I'm not that good, it doesn't matter my experience, right? If someone could be less experienced and play this game and wreck the whole team, and eventually he'll get more experience than me anyway. So does it really matter? I don't think so. It's not like you're taking something from the game that's exclusive only to PlayStation, because that's a little ridiculous. Like you don't get 2 levels in the game; they take it out. It's just a couple XPs and big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of my take on it, but it's causing a stir in the COD community and seems just a bit unnecessary. It's a little bit more playground nonsense.
Well, if you think about it, let's say it's FIFA. Yeah. Everyone's playing FIFA now. So if you get a couple XP in your manager level or your player career, is it really gonna matter if you get more on Xbox or more on PlayStation? Not really. You're still gonna play the game regardless.
They should just do what FIFA do: release the game as a standard edition, release the game with the extra packs. If you want to pay an extra $10, bang, you got it.
That's it. Done.
Same for everyone. Done.
I agree. That's the way to do it. It's not like you don't get to play certain teams on Xbox than PlayStation. So if it's just only XP or a couple skins, whatever, all right. I mean, is it really gonna not make you buy an Xbox or make you buy a PlayStation? I don't think so.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
Done.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, the line was the news, came in here all big. By the time it was finished, it was Aslan on a stone table. Main gone, chopped up, everyone laughing at it like it's, joke of the animal kingdom. Community corrections, there were none, but there were some rumbles. Last week, I don't know how we threw down, but probably me, with my lack of knowledge, got all blasé and said, Kevin Costner's got to be in more game. Obviously, that was wrong. Guys, who is the actor with the most video games?
This is still ongoing.
Yeah, still ongoing.
Which is pretty interesting because now Sylvester Stallone is in the mix. He had some games, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger had some games. Whether it looks like him or not, it's still Arnold.
Yeah.
He's in there. Bruce Willis was thrown in now.
So basically, you're telling me the Planet Hollywood trifecta are the ones that are stood atop this duking it out. Who's got the most games?
It's happening. Yeah, it's pretty, and it's still ongoing. And I really like it. It's pretty good. Every now and then, someone pops up with another actor. You're like, oh my god! And that's it. It's good.
Mortal Kombat. They got RoboCop in, and they got Rambo and other bits and bobs, and they got Terminator.
They did, yeah,
right, okay. Yeah. Imagine them resetting using the Mortal Kombat engine to create the Planet Hollywood fighting game. Okay, you've got your main stage, you've got Bruce, you've got Arnie, you've got Sly. Okay, they're your top tiers. They're Planet Hollywood. Okay, but then beneath that, we could have a Vin Diesel. Okay, we could have
Mel Gibson.
Oh,
yeah,
good one. Yeah.
Fighting and
Kurt Russell.
Don't
get me started on this, bro. I'm getting excited with your idea right now. It could be like, instead of Def Jam, Hollywood Jam.
Jam. Do they play as themselves though, or do they play as the most iconic?
It's the likeness of the actor or as the characters he played as.
So you can
imagine playing John McClane in different stages of his career.
Oh wow.
Against Arnie's Predator. Was it Dutch?
Yeah.
What about his Commando character?
That's what I'm saying. Do you flick through those with the different skins? So then you could be like T-800 as well.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
Versus Mel Gibson as William Wallace, Braveheart style. Okay,
Mad
Braveheart
Max.
versus Terminator. Maybe one of his moves is flashing Sporran.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I like it.
It's the T-800 sort of like, it's kind of logic circuit gets
You
fried.
get Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China, but it's all luck-based because clearly his whole movie was just... He really didn't do anything, which I just
That would be
love.
the take I'd want on it. So you go to punch him, but instead of punching him, you miss, and he moves backwards and falls over a bucket or something. That would be amazing.
I love it.
I'm still caught on Flash's Sporran.
That's the best.
There you go. Goes to shoot his gun, shoots in the air, does nothing, looks around, then the roof collapses on the other guy. Perfect. Okay.
Oh dear.
Harrison Ford. One minute
he's in
Indiana Jones. Next
as
minute
you-
he's Blade Runner.
As you talk about this more and more actors get thrown in. It's amazing. I don't think, and you know what's funny? You try Googling this, all I get is voice actors or actors who have used their voice. So it's not like you could just find this.
Because obviously in Die Hard games, Bruce Willis didn't voice them; they had a voice actor do it. Yeah,
But it looks like him. It's his character.
Yeah, it's his character. Yeah.
So it's like, this is a good conversation.
Maybe
There's no
if
direct
enough
answer
of
right now.
these-
It's still going.
If enough of these films are owned by Fox or were owned by Fox and now owned by Disney, Disney could get in on this.
I think it'll be amazing.
Okay. So what's it called again? Hollywood Fighters. Hollywood
Jam.
That's perfect. Hollywood
Jam. Yeah. No, that's what we're going for. Okay. So as always, if we've made a mistake in the show, you can go to the place on the Discord and you can let us know that we're complete blither and half-wits. And that's okay, because we accept that as podcasters, we come here because we can't game, we can't write, therefore we podcast. It makes logical sense, doesn't it? Those that can't game, podcast. Okay, but it's your one-stop shop for news for every platform you can possibly imagine, including the now defunct Stadia and the 3DO.
Imagine playing F1 Manager on Stadia.
Just be a black screen.
Double win.
Yeah. Just see a car get... Bip, 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 bip. That'd be it.
Stadia's dead, baby. That controller's useful for nothing other than... I don't even know what you might use it for now. It's literal death.
I'll end up in my shed.
For fun.
I'll end up with one.
Just put the controller on the shelf and a USB memory stick.
Leave it there. Memories.
So let me ask you this. Did we miss anything? Do you have an opinion or take on the news we missed? If so, RGT, how would the collected masses interact with us and let us know that we are the pre-mentioned, pillocks of podcasts and we probably need a good slap round the chops and a reminder that I mean, you couldn't get any more amateuristic than hitting the side of your mic stand and slapping yourself full in the chops like I just did. Before you tell us where they can go, one community correction is my mic wasn't plugged in properly last time, listeners. Listen, even I make mistakes. Okay, I'm sorry. You didn't turn up to listen to me anyway. You turned up to listen to America's finest and Suffolk's, if not nay, the world's greatest game collector, who's sad looking me now.
It is.
I mean, pour some hollandaise on that son of a gun because, I'll eat him raw.
That's heaven. Yeah.
So, do you want half with me?
Why not?
Fine. You start at the bottom, I'll start at the top. We meet in the middle.
Like a plan.
Everyone's a winner. RGT's like, let me get the hollandaise.
Get a bit hot under the collar here, fellas.
Okay. So, sweating as you are like me at the start of a podcast, tell me how the interacted masses might get in contact with us and let us know that we are that sub-average show that everyone loves to hate.
Well, they can email us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, or you can DM us on Instagram or Twitter.
And if
Disney want to contact us and they want to see Mel Gibson flashing his sporran, hit us up and we'll get something organised.
Amazing. Imagine if you listen to this show just curiously. Also last week I said if we didn't have 3 new people to the Discord, something bad would happen. Mm-hmm. I actually expected us to get new people to the Discord. I didn't have to expect to wheel out this threat. And I think I said something about a hamster and you were going to punish it.
Yeah.
How is Harry and is he still alive?
We had the service yesterday. So not good for Harry.
So listeners, this is on you, okay? It takes one click.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
It takes one click to get in the Discord where you get all the latest news. You speak to all the other people that love the show. You get to speak to me, Bobby, and RGT.
Yep.
And that's probably the reason.
Yeah.
We won't be on it at all.
Yeah, will you join if we stay away?
If we stay away from this, will you join? Because we've set it up. Unlike most podcasts, this is free. I know that freaks people out. If it's free, there's got to be a catch, but trust me.
The only catch is us.
The only catch is us, and we just took us out of the game. Poof, wipe the board clean, baby. Okay? Yep. Set this up, killer move, Zephyrine Chelsea. So we have people in the Discord that don't even listen to the show. And we have people who listen to the show that aren't even in the Discord. Somewhere, somehow, logic got fried. So join the Discord before another hamster's died.
Mm-hmm. I've got a replacement.
Okay.
Jeremy.
I'd rather you didn't give them names because I get emotionally attached to names. Let's give them numbers, okay? Hamster 1, Trevethin last week.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just call it 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hamster 2, you call it Jeremy. Yeah. I want to call it 2.
Okay, 2. Yeah. Don't get emotionally attached.
Don't do this because I can see a stack of corpses higher than the Somm's first day of battle here. And they're all sort of nice rodents that people get attached to. You know, their little black eyes peering at you through the fur. Like, RGT sat on another one.
Yeah.
We don't want number 2 to have a Maniac Mansion type of deal, do we? No.
My mind just literally jumped on a moped and floored it at that point. Like, what could that even look like? Well, I'm going to say that probably for that hamster would look like a horror story. I don't know if you check your watches, but it's All Hallows Eve. It's Halloween, the day we celebrate, and then we forget the next day that All Hallows Eve is Halloween, which makes the day after, the 1st of November, Halloween. But we don't celebrate that. We celebrate the day before. We are a strange collection of shaved monkeys, aren't we, the human race? I mean, who would even... If I was an alien looking in from outer space, I'm like, guys, it's the day before. You're taking all the decorations down on Halloween. What's wrong with you guys?
That's why they stay up there. They don't come down. They can't be bothered.
Okay, you leave them.
They can't be bothered with us.
Fair play. Leave them up all year round. Leave all your decorations up. Easter, Halloween, Christmas. Make them work. Get a scary egg Santa house going on. It's a good vibe. That's also an equally scary story. But the scary story I want to talk to you about, boys, is the inevitable Halloween special 04. That's what I said. Oh my God, check your watches. Guess what? Getting a Halloween special out on Halloween. This'll do gangbuster numbers. Okay. Picture the scene. They want to think about scary stuff. And my suggestion to you is, tell me a game that you've been scared by. Now, don't feel like you have to trot out your usuals, although feel free to. But is there a time where you got scared witless in a game that by definition probably wasn't meant to be even scary? Now, for this conundrum, I'm first of all looking across to Bobby. Bobby, what's your most terrifying moment in a game? Can be scary, don't have to be scary.
I've had a few. One that it was not a horror game was just playing Fallout New Vegas, which is not a horror game at all. And I was just trying to shoot people, and I was playing in first person for better aim. And when I switched over to third person, there was that mutant huge creature right behind me. I'm talking about, it freaked me out because first of all, I didn't hear him, didn't see him. And then I was tossed in the air by him. So that was really, took me off guard. It was from first person to third person switch over. He was right behind me. I lost it right there in the chair.
Those behemoth ones that are like 20, 30 foot tall.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, I forgot what they're called, but that just out of nowhere. I didn't even hear him. I was so focused on shooting the other enemies in the house. So that took me off guard. Probably scariest moment in a horror game was, I'm not going to get no spoilers here, but Dead Space, I felt always a little nervous going into different areas, always waiting for the enemies to pop down and shoot them. But at the end of the game, I'm like, nailed it, done. So happy. What an ending. Burnt, like second degree burns on my lip, my chin, my chest, my leg, coffee everywhere. Did not expect that at all.
The weirdest bit is, I'm a massive fan of your solo show. I think it's great. And in one of those shows, you did talk about that moment quite explicitly. And I listened, and I was like, yeah. And then I think sometime later, I played Dead Space myself. And even though I knew it was coming, I didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, that was really wild.
And it got me.
It got me good.
It got me good.
I like a good jump scare in horror games. Sometimes, see, the problem with horror is that it's very subjective. So what's not going to scare me might scare you. So it's hard to recommend something because I'm like, oh, I'm used to that. And I watch so many horror games. It's very hard for me to get scared about anything. But I do like feeling uneasy. So that kind of feeling in a horror game is good. And if the jump scare is done correctly, it's nailed on. I think like the stupid thing when the cat jumps down, that's annoying. Like, all right.
I think if they build suspense to the point where you are literally on the edge of your seat and then deploy a good jump scare, I'm not, although to be fair, if you're that hyped and the cat jumps out and the bucket moves.
Oh yeah.
Then they slap you with a jump scare. Oh, I saw that coming a mile off. Jump square.
Yeah.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, that's it. And I love that feeling. So I enjoy to watch horror movies and play horror games for that reason. But some of it's been so overkill that it gets lost. But I think in a video game, graphics or whatever, because I mean, graphics, regular graphic would scare you more because it's more realistic.
Yeah, you go back attached to a game, and you are watching a film. You know, you're the character. And
you're there, and you don't want to go down the alley, so you don't have to. I just put the controller down. Yeah, like old school Resident Evil, Silent Hill. I love them. They've always made me uneasy. Seeing the zombie for the first time in Resident Evil turn around with his head, that was impressive. Not going down the dark, foggy alleyway in Silent Hill with the little kids. I was like, what is happening in this game? It freaked me out. It was amazing. Playing it now, am I going to be scared about it? Not really, because it looks, how it looks. But, but if the sound is there, if you play with headphones on and the sound is quality, then I think anything can kind of scare you.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are probably my most. And I would recommend them. Obviously, if you haven't played them, Dead Space, go for it. Resident Evil, Silent Hill, go for it. Camp Sunshine, it's on PC. My friend borrowed it. I played it on his house. It's like an old school top-down Super Nintendo game, like Zelda, kind of looks like Zelda. But the horror references in that game and the murdering bear chasing you around the house, around the area, great. Felt uneasy doing that. And more recently, Vestige. It's just the whole game is very eerie. It sometimes can be very, even the quietness of the game could be scary. I like that. And old school, that's modern. I would say Murder House looks like a PS1 game, but the sound's very well done. The story is well done. And seeing that bunny chase you is pretty scary. So those I would definitely recommend.
Okay.
If you have it, yeah.
Well, that's the Horror Meister. He came, he saw, he delivered. RGT.
Yep. I'd probably say my most scary part in the game isn't a game that was meant to be scary. It's probably a game that most people listening haven't played. It was a walking simulator called The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And I always found the game quite eerie because you're in it's first person, you're walking around, but there's all the sounds are just nature. It feels eerie anyway. But I was enjoying the game. You get to this certain part in the game, about 2/3 of the way through, where you have to go through this mine. And if you hear the bell of the miner, ghost miner ringing, you know, as soon as you turn around, it is straight in your face. Mm-hmm. And it got to the stage where I had 3 or 4 goes playing that game. I'm done. I can't play this anymore. I am done. I can't do it. And I've never gone back to that game.
Wow.
I'm a bit wimpy when it comes to horror games anyway, but that freaked me out. And I just, as soon as I heard that bell, I was just on edge. And, oh, God, absolutely terrified the life out of me, that game. And that's a game I really want to complete as well, because I really enjoyed the story. I've never seen the end to it. And this was years ago, and I've never seen the end to it. I've never dared go back. Another one I found, which was, I think, delivered really well for what it was Until Dawn.
Mm.
I thought for having that style of sort of B-movie, teen horror movie, they kept you on that edge. So every time you were ready for a jump scare, but it never seemed to come when you thought the jump scare was coming. And I think they mastered that. You know, it's I don't have no spoilers. There's a one where you're looking in a cupboard, it's a scare there. In the woods, a deer, you know, and there's loads of them throughout the whole game. And I thought they nailed that because you felt like you were playing a teen horror movie. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And probably the other one that probably scared me, another game I didn't finish, but I would like to finish, so I did enjoy it, was Evil Within.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had that sort of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis stalking vibe to it, where they were after you and you had to get in a locker, and you're in the locker looking through the vents, and you could just see him walking past, and you're just thinking, is he going to open that door? Isn't he going to open that door? And you're hanging on for a jump scare, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So you're so tense, and I thought they nailed it in that. That was really good. But yeah, most other than that was probably back to the like Bobby said, Silent Hills in the fog. Back in the day, that was a scary game. They nailed that. And you know, essentially that was just there to hide the pop-in, but actually worked a treat on that. Mm-hmm. And because the one everyone goes to, Resident Evil, dogs through the window.
Yeah,
that was amazing. That was one of the first jump scares, wasn't it? So that was really good. But yeah, they're pretty much my...
thing is about that jump scare as well, I still remember where I was and how my TV and PlayStation was set up when it happened. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of been embedded in my core memory now. You know, if someone says to me, dog's windows, I'm immediately in the back bedroom with mum and dad's. My TV's up on a stand and, you know, I'm playing it stood up. I don't know why I decided this would be a cool way to play PlayStation at the time. It was stood up. But yeah, thoroughly terrifying.
Well, when that first
was it terrifying or was it just jumpy? I can't quite remember.
It's more of a jump
because at that moment, the music kind of stopped from my memory, and there was no more music. You're just going down this hallway, and all of a sudden you heard the glass and the dog, and I lost it. Yeah, did not expect that at all.
I wasn't even playing it. I was watching it. That was my old housemate. He's on Discord at Bald Border. He's a master at Resident Evil. He'd play through, speed run it, everything. And when I first saw the game, I was just watching him play it. So I was just engrossed watching it. and poof, the dogs come through. God, yeah, absolutely terrified me. Fantastic.
And it happened again later on with the crows and the rooftop.
Oh, and he knew that was happening as well, so he didn't give me any inkling that was going to happen. Just playing the game, thinking, "You wait,
I love it. I love it.
Fantastic, yeah."
Okay, is that your? So I'll move in here now. I was thinking about this. Obviously, it's the 4th Halloween special, so I've probably talked about all the scares and bits and bobs. And if I've talked about these again, I'm sorry, but there's another 3 episodes of my Halloween memories to go dig into. But I thought it was nice to explore it with these guys as well. Bobby's probably 2nd Halloween show. Now, I had to think about this. And I want you to remember back to the launch of the Xbox 360. And that's a game, I don't think the original made it onto PlayStation 3, but the sequel did. But the original on Xbox 360, it incorporates all those things that made me nervous at the time, really. Dark rooms. It was Condemned Criminal Origins. Okay. A game that's been very overlooked, and as a launch title was massively overlooked as well. Out of all the launch titles, it was the one that was really, I felt like, really pushing the console at the time. You were playing that, and it looked like nothing else on any other machine. It was, it was immaculate. And it was all physical melee combat as well. So people were up in your grill. Right in your face.
Was that first person?
Yeah.
It was. And things would happen, like you would see, and this is the bit that always made me uneasy. You'd walk into this room, there'd be like mannequins, and you'd be like, "Oh God, I thought it was someone." That's terrifying, but it's only mannequins. But you would turn around and turn back, and the mannequins will have moved.
No, God.
And it's like, oh my, okay. So then your brain goes in overdrive. Who's moving those? There's someone in here. They have to be, unless they possess. And I don't think this game's about possessed mannequins. So someone's in here, and then you turn again, and maybe a couple of them have gone. And then you turn around, and behind you, where there was nothing, there's mannequins. You're like, oh my goodness. Any game that does this, Batman Arkham VR did this very subtly when you got to the end and you're in the Joker's cell, and then all of a sudden you turn around. And in VR, that's got another dimension again. But, where a wall is suddenly where you were when you walked in. It's like, oh my goodness, where am I? Only a medium that a game or VR could do well. Yeah. But Condemned Criminal Origins got him. I remember creeping through those first levels, terrified. Because when people got up in your face as well, it was one of the first games that I'd played RPGs like Morrowind and stuff where you can go first person and do melee, but this was a real physical, gritty.
First person's more scary as well.
It is melee.
Because you can hear noises behind you and you turn around. At least you've got a bit of an inkling in third person.
Exactly. So Condemned Criminal Origins, it's up there. That was scary. Was it The Suffering on original Xbox? I remember playing that through with a friend, and at the time I found that quite disturbing. A game that I think I've mentioned before that's definitely not dressed up as a scary game at all, but is terrifying, especially if you've invested time. Minecraft.
Yeah.
That game should not be scary, but you're down in a tunnel. You're like, I'll just get that next diamond or whatever. I've just seen that thing there. There's no lights. You hear some bat noises and you're like, oh my God, I've got to get, it's loads of them. You've got to get out. And you can't remember how you came in because you didn't remember the wall that you walked up or down. You can't find that. You're just, you're just running around, getting chased by a stream of zombies. It should be terrifying because if you stopped and looked at them objectively, it's like, this is a really pixelated square skeleton. Like, what am I worried about? But the amount of investment that you've got in it is what causes that fear. So there's a couple of examples. Again, I've been trying to think through of games that have got me. I think I've mentioned Fatal Frame before. There was something really strange about the fact that you couldn't see the enemy unless you lifted the camera. And when you did, it was all sort of ring girls as well. So, and I remember on the original Xbox when I first got that Fatal Frame, what possessed me to buy that? I don't know. But I remember getting it home and thinking, I almost treated it like the disc was infected with the spirit of the devil itself. And you'd like, put it in the console. Shut it. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's a clever idea, that game. Fatal Frame was a clever idea.
There's something quite unsettling about young girls that you can only see through a camera, and
you can only see the ghosts.
It's probably aged really badly now, but that sort of washed out, see-through, grey, phantom-like appearance.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh, that's unsettling. That's a little bit too close to the bone for me. I'm not keen. As far as other games that have scared me, I'm sure there's been a few. You know, there was some probably Atari ST gems that, you know, again, graphically now you think nothing of, but at the time, especially when you're a kid, you kind of build a narrative in your brain and it ends up being way more terrifying than it actually should be. You know, so there's been times where I've been terrified of an MG42 emplacement in Call of Duty 2. You know, that guy, some of the guys in that were just absolutely relentless. And I just did not know how to get through it. So that, you know, there's times where all games I think can be terrifying, but there's probably our top picks. If I had to pick a Halloween game for you to play, my recommendation to RG2 would be Dead Space. It's your homework for the second week running. Hint, hint. The second scariest game. I know, it got me games that really got me that would still stand up. I think Condemned would still stand up.
I think so.
So I think also people have got PlayStations. If you haven't played Until Dawn, play it, because it is. And if you're in a group, swap the controller around. I mean, that's how they got the ideas for Man and Medan and bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a great group game on a Halloween night. Really good. Lights off. Great fun.
Excellent. Well, with that put to bed, there's a man who we put down every single week, but somehow, like a true enemy, the real bad guy of a horror movie, he's there at the bottom of the drive, bulletproof, every single week. No blood, no damage. It's that time of the week. There he is. I mean, I'm not sure if it's me, but it looks like he's got red eyes this week. Stand back. Here he comes. I don't know about you, but I don't see a car. I see a horse-drawn hearse. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefriend All this week? These are the new release highlights for the week, October 31st to November 6th, 2022. Listeners, these are out in digital, physical, or will be by the time this podcast in your feed, but could be, whoa there, Spectral Nelly, could be region-dependent. So I'm seeing him basically as a manifestation of death with red eyes and no face this week. I see a horse-drawn Victorian hearse. What on God's green earth are you guys seeing?
Like a pumpkin jack type of vibe. With a jack-o'-lantern on his head.
Oh red my God, that's terrifying.
Green fog.
Oh my.
Very strange.
I don't know whose manifestation is worse. RGT sees this primary school dinner lady.
I'm seeing he's still hovering like he always does, and there's still a hovering mullet, but his face is now a pumpkin. It's like a pumpkin with a gorgeous blonde mullet on the back. And he's still got a lamb and butler between the teeth.
Ooh. I can't believe they let your primary school dinner lady smoke.
Yeah. You've never been to Suffolk, have you? It's quite normal.
I have for a midnight rendezvous, but less said about that the soonest. Okay. Even Spectral Ray hasn't got time for this nonsense. So first, stand back, everyone. I'm going to take a risky move. I'm going to dive in the back of what I see as a coffin in the back of a Victorian. I'm pulling out, bizarrely, a Switch game. It's on Somnis, released October 31st. That's today. Anyone with a brain's going to release a horror game today. No, anyone with a brain probably release a horror game on Friday. Anyway, Insomnis is a first-person horror game focused on story, exploration, and solving puzzles to advance through a terrifying atmosphere. Players take control of Joe Castavet, who will have to deal with mysterious inheritance he's just received. Discover all the secrets of Castavet Mansion.
Next, we got Necroboy, Path to Evil Ship on PC, October 31st. Necroboy Path to Evil Ship tells the story of a young necromancer aiming to become the greatest lord of evil. Using his dark powers, he's bringing his necrominions back to life to do his bidding and solve puzzles to venture forth into the crypt of his infamous hero, Necroman.
The Unliving PC, October 31st. Raise the dead as a fearsome necromancer in the dark world of the unliving. Lead your undead armies to the endless fight in this roguelike. George?
Hey, Spectral Ray. Don't look at me like that. You brought us another roguelike.
Roguelike action RPG game. Burn cities to ash with devastating magic spells, slay epic bosses, and turn your enemies into morbid servants.
This is my mommy coming up.
I was going to say if this isn't your mummy, but can I just say, if I was a necromancer and the ability to burn cities to ash, how does that represent itself in that game? Unbelievable. 1 minute you need the controller set up to be able to just turn some enemies into morbid servants. The next, what is it? Triangle for destroy cities. That circle to recruit. What the hell?
Yeah, that's an odd one.
Bobby, tell us about your mummy.
The Chant for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, November 3rd. A single-player, third-person horror action-adventure game set on a remote spiritual island retreat. To survive, you must craft, fight, and escape the psychedelic horror set loose when a spiritual ritual goes wrong and awakens a dimension of cosmic terror.
Now, I thought this looked great.
Yeah, this looks good. I didn't review it, but I put like a preview of it on my post. So I'm pretty excited for it. It sounds like very 70s Jim Jones meets the Cthulhu.
Next gen only as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Very good. What's your next pick out the boot?
Die by the Blade. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, November the 3rd. Vanquish your foes with a single strike in 1v1 weapons. Fight or die by the blade. Dive into the samurai punk world and wield a range of traditional Japanese weapons to determine your moveset. Dodge and parry your opponent's blows with lightning speed and master the art of one-hit kills. I think that could be my mummy there.
I was thinking, as I was with the Ray compiling the boot, I actually thought Die by the Blade had enough forerunner about it to entice the Bobby, the Blades
master
out of retirement. I was trying to think of the right word.
Check it out. Yeah.
Here's another one. The Entropy Center for PC, PS5, Xbox Series of consoles, PS4, and the Xbone. November 3rd, Think in Reverse. Outsmart the impossible, a mind-bending first-person adventure where you solve ingenious and complex puzzles by rewinding objects through time.
That sounds good. Puzzle game.
Bobby?
This is From Space for PC and Switch, November 3rd. From Space is a solo and co-op action shooter for squads, up to 4 players. Take on the challenge of liberating the Earth from an alien infestation with your friends, using over-the-top weaponry in a post-apocalyptic world with awesomely stylized graphics. The apocalypse has never been so much fun.
Okay, well, seeing as it's spooky season, this one probably going to scare the living wits out of everybody, so I'm taking this home because I'm the only bigger boy here. Bigger boy enough to play this. Don't look at me like that, Ray. It's your horse-drawn, your steeds that have made me think of this. My mummy is Horsetails. But hang on. The Emerald Valley Ranch. It's available on PC, PS5, PS4, and Switch. Probably looks like a horror game on Switch, to be fair. November 3rd. Set off on a captivating horseback adventure and to discover the mysteries of Emerald Valley.
Looks like the Xbox fans got a pass on this one.
Lucky.
Good for them.
Too scary for them.
Good for them.
How to Say Goodbye, PC, November the 3rd. How to Say Goodbye is a beautiful narrative puzzle game inspired by picture books. Reorganize the environment and solve puzzles to help a group of ghosts on their quest to finally move on. Sounds interesting, that.
Looks sad. Sounds sad. I don't like to cry. Up next, we got King's Hunt on PC, November 3rd. King's Hunt is a third-person tactical arena brawler set in a dark fantasy world. Form a team of 5, choose your hero, and take the fight to the enemy in this competitive online multiplayer game. Summon powerful minions and towers to combat the enemy team.
Sounds good. This, okay? When Moonshine gets too scary, they call it Outshine. On the PC, November 3rd. Unleash your powers against your oppressors in this arcade, fast-paced typing game. Never saw that one coming. Nice work, Ray. Diluting the roguelites. Guarantee we get another one before we do. Avoid traps, destroy enemies, defeat bosses to seek your revenge, and rush. Steady on. Don't just crawl up there. Rush to the top of the leaderboards.
WRC generations, PC, PS5, Xbox Series of consoles, PS4, Xbox One, November 3rd. Rise to all the challenges of the most comprehensive, realistic, and demand and rally simulation ever developed. Dive into the heart of the action and drive cars from the 2022 WRC Championships, including the new hybrid models.
My God. Last but not least, out the boot, it's you, Bobby.
We got Eternia Noctis, which I'm pretty proud I pronounced, on the Switch, November 4th. Eternia Noctis is a demanding Metroidvania that combines intense platform gameplay with enemies that will get the most out of each player. Explore, recover your power, and help the King of Darkness in an epic adventure only suitable for players who want a real challenge. Interesting.
Nice. Okay.
Sounds like you're the bad guy in this game. You're going to help the King of Darkness.
Give me Discord. If you're still okay, let's think of the pie chart. Let's think of the Venn diagram. You're on the Discord. You're still listening to the show at this point. Really, is a Roast Space Monk. Okay, give us a list of games or anybody else who's survived to this point. Like a good horror movie, there can only be one survivor. Anyone who's survived to this point, get in the Discord and let us know a game where you don't play as the hero, you play as the bad guy. I can think of one, Dungeon Keeper on PC, came out, I don't know, 96, 7 time. It was a game that Peter Molyneux came out with, so had all the hype. That was actually probably all right.
I can think of 2 off the bat.
Go for it.
Right now. But Atari, Halloween, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Halloween, you're chasing around a babysitter. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it looks like a chainsaw, if you have an imagination, chasing a girl and trying not to hit into a wheelchair.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought of one, Stubbs the Zombie.
Stubbs the Zombie.
Yeah, where you play as a bad... You're the zombie.
It just came out. The second part just came out recently.
The first one's expensive. That one, Stubbs. Sorry, interrupt, Bob.
It's the comedy, the game, but you're the alien. Destroy all
humans.
Yeah. They use the same engine, don't they? If memory serves.
This is good. Good.
I thought Stubbs. Actually, maybe I'm incorrect, but Stubbs the Zombie definitely used a version of the Halo engine to put the image up on the screen.
I heard about that.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
One thing I would say is maybe it's just a matter of perspective. Where we see Halo, the Covenant see terrifying walking kill machine that wades through thousands of dead bodies. We see Uncharted. What we see is scary nightmare for pirates game where you just minding your own business doing piratey things. All of a sudden, this gun-wielding one-man killing machine decimates you and your families. It always reminds me of that Austin Powers scene where the henchman dies and then they go to the henchman's family and it's like he was just trying to keep it together, trying to bring money in for the family.
True.
Do his thing.
Role reversal.
And I think we've talked about this on the show before, but imagine if you played through a game, and I think maybe Demon Souls does this in one of the bosses, but every time you come across a boss, it's actually someone in their single player game with all their mods and XP and everything that they've gained to that point. So maybe you play it in reverse. So someone who's kind of finished the game ends up being your sort of end of level baddie. Someone who's just maybe on level 3 to your level 1 is your end of level 1 boss, and it moves through. There's no dialogue or anything like that, and the AI doesn't control them. The AI controls everything else. It doesn't control that. So when you go one-on-one with these guys, you kind of know, or maybe the thing is that it's hidden in the code, like nobody knows.
Yeah, that's clever.
So they're playing through thinking they're just being their normal self, fighting what they see as a boss. In actual fact, you are you fighting what, kind of like how we see the Ray on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I think potentially, I think the Gone Off Milk's probably kicked into a high level now. Before Ray's head flips open like a flip-top bin and a snake crawls out of his throat and wraps itself around me and constricts the very last breath from me, I should probably say, what's your mummy DVD VHS pick? Bobby?
It's very obvious. I'm going to go with Halloween. And I'm going to go with 78. And I'm going to go then with Halloween 2018.
You're double dipping?
Yeah.
It's Halloween. Ray says it's okay. Just make sure Mumsy
Or
pays
technically, if you want to forget about that, you do Halloween 1 and 2. It's technically the same night. Technically only a few hours after.
Ray shrugs his shoulders. He says, as long as you pay the money, you can take 6. But
I like it.
Okay, fine. Ray, calm down. Okay.
It's a bundle. Humble bundle.
He says they might do bundles where you come from, but where he comes from, bundles aren't humble. I never knew he could speak. I interpreted fire from his eyeballs as that. I might be wrong. RGT, before he flambés my eyebrows like a bad science experiment at 13 years old in chemistry class, tell me, what are you taking?
I'm going with the classic Fright Night, the original Fright Night, not the remake. Okay. Brilliant film. Yeah, that's got to be for Halloween.
Okay. I'm going to pick something that probably strikes the living wheels into a lot of dudes. I'm picking Frozen, Disney's Frozen. And apparently humble, dumble, keep you humble. Okay, fine. I'll pick another one, Ray. No, calm down. All right, I'll pay it. I'll pay the double part. I'll pay it. I'm also picking Ghostwatch by the BBC.
Oh, classic.
As debilitated.
Classic.
Mate, to surmise, do you remember War of the Worlds radio drama by Orson Welles that actually sent America into chaos?
Yeah.
In the 90s, maybe 92, some trusted TV presenters, news presenters, proper interviewers, the whole bag of tricks, never done anything stupid or sort of untrustworthy their whole lives. These people had the nation's trust. The BBC put something together called Ghostwatch, did little build-ups on the week. You know, we're going to put these cameras in this haunted house. You know, we're not going to see anything. We've got a family who are experiencing paranormal activity. The girls are getting possessed and all that. But we think it's just a load of tomfoolery. And it was presented like now as an adult, when I watch it, it screams of badly acted, and you know, but at the time, to someone who trusted these behemoth type characters that we'd grown up with, if they said they were doing an investigation into the paranormal, but don't expect to see anything, but as the camera pans around, you see a hooded figure against the curtain. You're
was it Mr. Pipes? Was it
Pipes.
Yeah. That scared the life out of me, that show, and because you thought that it was live, you thought that they were really filming this. You could sort of, you know, an interview and there'd be a silhouette behind the curtain and you're all screaming at the telly.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's
phenomenal.
amazing.
They had all like
YouTube?
Temperature. I think it is actually.
Oh, my God.
Don't expect to get scared, but imagine if you're 12 and you don't know anything about anything.
Live.
And it's live.
Yeah.
And they're doing like check-ins on temperature settings, and most of it's really quite boring and talking to people about what paranormal activity actually is or isn't. But when they go to the house...
That sounds amazing.
I think it jammed the BBC phone lines, didn't it? Because so many people phoned in, it just jammed the network down.
Some dude killed himself because he was haunted by what he saw.
What?
Some kid killed himself. Yeah.
Holy.
Like I say, if you watch it now, you're like, nah. But at the time, and the best bit about it was they did a bit of a like a switch. Because at the start, they kind of hear all these noises. They go running upstairs to investigate and find the girls banging on the pipes and things. Yeah. And they're like, oh, right, okay, sorry to waste everybody's time. It's a bit of a hoax, blah, blah, blah. And then everything starts to head south. So everyone's like, oh, right, stupid.
Oh, no.
And then it just sort of goes downhill big time, but in a way that obviously is scary. And you're like, oh, my goodness gracious me. She's speaking in tongues, floating off the bed, doing all that. And
Yeah,
and
phenomenal.
it was just in a normal
That's
sort
crazy.
of 2 up, 2 down sort of house in London on an estate. There's all these mass-produced houses all looking the same. So you're like, well, there can't be anything spooky. It's not as though they went, oh no, we'll go to a haunted mansion. It wasn't even that on the nose. What they did was, I say it's perfect. I mean, as I've watched it as an adult, it's like this is just nonsense. But
yeah,
when you see, and they didn't overdo it, that one pan and then back again, was that something that we saw and it was gone? It was.
Yeah.
I have to check this out.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to get a text in like 10 minutes. Like, what a load of absolute tripe. You were scared of that, bro. You didn't even grow up in the right neighborhood. I had walks home from school that were more terrifying than that. Like, yeah, I know. Okay, with that, I turned round to thank Ray. He's already gone. All that's left in his place is a black cloak. And because I heard horses galloping up the drive, but because we're lazy, you're just going to hear a car. But that means you're not imagining hard enough, and that's on you. Okay, that's on you.
Definitely.
If you heard horses, get in the Discord. Whoever's left listening at this point, Elliot, probably Elliot's mum, because he left it on the side when he went for a wee. Hi, Elliot. I don't know if Odders is even around anymore. We called him out at the start. Did you know like 10% of the people on your social media are dead? True story.
Really?
Amazing.
Something like that. Anyway, people die, don't they? You don't get replaced. The Ray's gone. I'm just finding, I've got my eyes closed, so I'm stumbling around the darkened room that is the podcast. The Ray's gone. You've spoken about what you want out the boot. So have I. We've picked a mummy. The only thing left to do is for me to turn to Bobby and say, hey, Bubba boy, what are you hoping to play?
Definitely want to continue Gotham Knights with my brother today.
That's important for the show that you finish that game.
Yes, I want to get that done. If I'm by myself and there's nothing else, nobody's on, then I have to finish Last of Us Part 1. Maybe if I can really try to just give FIFA a break, I can just get things done.
Please, so I'm going to have to start doing like Overwatch bans on you guys.
Yeah, and if worst comes to worst, then if everyone's on, we'll play some Dead by Daylight. Just depends. But my main focus is Last of Us 2 and Gotham Knights, for sure.
Excellent. RGT?
Definitely Ni no Kuni 2. I'm going to probably get on with that start off the show. Can't wait to play that again, get stuck into it. Maybe a couple of games of FIFA might do. Just 2. Not many. Just 2. 2-ish. 3 or 4.
My face right now, dead.
Deadpan. And obviously I'll be finding a hidden gem for everyone, retro hidden gem for next week.
Yes, my new favourite part of the show.
Yes, and then if I get a chance over that, then I'll be sticking on Dead Space.
Ooh.
Oh, and can I just say something as well before I finish? Today is a very special day. It's a very special birthday today.
Oh yeah,
Mrs. RGT.
That's it.
So happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I love you very much.
I love you more, Donna. Have a great birthday.
I don't know that was coming.
Scoundrel's got a scoundrel.
Bless her. But yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to play anyway. So
okay. What are you hoping to play, Mrs. RGT, or are you games?
We'll work it between the two.
All your Christmases come at once, Donna. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Okay. I can see. I might send a picture of David Hasselhoff stuck to a paper bag so she can like. As that was coming out of my mouth, I was like, "That's overly hard." You probably wouldn't want to say it. No, it fell out like a dog poo. I was like, "Oh."
I made a note of that. That's a good idea.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, move on.
What am I hoping to play? Well, do you know what? I was thinking about playing Deathloop. I haven't played it. It's a game that's passed me by. It intrigues me. It's first-person shooterish roots, or first-person roots kind of put me off a little bit. But I mean, I'm I'm loosely what you'd call curious.
Is it, dare I say, rogue-like? Would you class it as rogue-like?
Yeah, a little bit.
Ray, you brought us another robot. The other game I was tossing up to play was giving Returnal another shake off, because it was at a time where I got into it. I had to play some other games for the show and myself. Probably play some 3 launch title.
Roguelike too.
Ray,
2 in a row. You picked 2 in a row, my friend.
Okay, let's forget those.
Don't tell me Hades.
Hades, yeah. I'll get back in. Ray, what are you doing? Every game is a roguelike. It's easy, is it? It's easy, is it? Oh, it's easy. I see. That's why they bang them out. I don't know what's going to take hold of me, to be honest, but I want to get my teeth into a PS5 game. I don't want to play a PS4 pumped up game. I want to play a PS5 game and go, wow, this is PS5. Probably going to end up playing PS2. So a bit more Fallout, a bit more Gran Turismo over the week, I'm sure. I need to dig the Vita out. I'm away again, so I might give...
you remind me of something as well. I had an accident while I was away. Went to play Killzone Liberation on the PSP, turned it on, screen cracked. Well, not cracked, but underneath. I must have squashed it in my case and the PSP.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a true nightmare right there.
That is that's PSP 3000 Red Edition, and I've had it since new on launch, and I've looked after that so well. And the first time I don't put it in a travel case, I've killed it.
Do you want the good news?
What?
Screens, super affordable. Do you want the next bit of good news?
Right, go on.
If you're just changing the screen, literally some screws, open it up very gently, pop, unclip, clip, pop, back together, crunch it all together like a ham sandwich. That's probably was the issue in the first place. Screw it together, because PSPs by nature don't want to stay together. As soon as you take the screws out, they're everywhere.
Spring loaded. Yeah.
Those boxes of
Jack
nuts
in a
and the
box.
Zebedees in them. You'd be like, I want some nuts, Brian. Yeah, like, no, what the hell? Give me nuts. No, blooming leopard print snake in a can, you weirdo. That's a PSP.
And is any soldering involved doing the screens?
No. It's literally, you got to be super careful because it's a tiny little delicate ribbon, like a piece of wafer thin ham, but in and out, job done. Yeah. Just be careful and it's doable.
Right. Leave it with me. I'll do a PSP update.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to play. Some cellophane wrapped PS5 goodness, no doubt. Or I may even have a little rumble on the store. I'm intrigued by many games at the moment, but can't quite put my bag down in one or the other. But I want something that I can go all in for a solid 20+ hour experience. I want it to be story based. I prefer it to be single player focused, narrative driven stuff. Got a war around the corner. Don't want to start too many things, but I want to play some video game today, and that's it. One would imagine. Have either of you got any more information to impart to the rabid listeners, or Roast Space Monk and Elliot at this point?
And Elliot's mum.
And well, Elliot's mum, basically. I don't know why I said Elliot, because he's long gone.
No, nothing. I just got some recommendations.
Okay.
You want to try some this weekend for horror? Oregon Trail. Not Oregon.
Oh, yes.
Oregon Trail's good.
Oh.
Infernax. It's like Castlevania 2, but modernized. You can even put the Konami code in and get a machine gunning guy. Murder House. And if you have PC, Camp Sunshine. And then Vestige, which I think is on Xbox and PC and everything else. That's it. Try those out if you're interested.
Nice.
So that's more. So I'm basically just going to, with this list of recommendations, going to walk into the game room and stare at a wall of PlayStation titles for probably an hour, and then realize I've got cleaning to do, and then not actually game at all until probably 9 o'clock. Put a game on for 20 minutes. Think, I'm going to get into this.
Well, they're pretty short too. They're pretty short.
Shorter than 10 minutes?
No, I would say no more than 3 hours.
I tell you what, as far as Halloween specials go, Bobby, we've got off quite lightly this year, because that time we filmed in Tom's secret sex dungeon. Let's not even muck around anymore.
Yep.
The Red Room.
Yep.
we followed a girl down a path, and then no one ever found out what happened to us.
Yeah. I think it's still a mystery.
The bits I've pieced together through hypnosis, I can see why I chose not to remember.
Yeah. The last thing I remember was she had half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich stuck in her mouth. So we're not sure if that's how she died or what.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
Yeah, right, fine. I don't remember that, but
I do. I'll never forget that.
Is that what you spat in my mouth to keep me alive? A spectral peanut butter sandwich? Because we were down there for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it was a weird time.
All I knew, it was a masticated paste. I didn't realize its origins.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a bit sick in my mouth, to be honest.
You feel sick? Oh.
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking. That's for sure.
I haven't brushed my teeth since. I've been terrified to touch my mouth. That would be really described as an oral hygiene bombshell. And I think with that, it's time. That's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for the time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, RGT.
See you, guys.
See you, Bobby.
Peace out.
See you guys.